Angry Bears Fan Podcast, episode 60, the big 60. Like, follow, subscribe. Please continue commenting and all that good stuff. The Reels have been doing, like I said, really good. Caleb Justin stuff, you know how it is. The combine is upon us. It's been pretty well. Statements have been made. A lot more to talk about than last week. We posted an interview. Caleb spoke. Um, every insider had their say. Um, yeah, and still we have no answer.
Yeah, but it's looking more and more likely like we know what our answer is. Um, just from Caleb kind of making his rounds and everything. I mean, what kind of caught me a little interesting, I guess maybe I'm looking too much into it. I don't know, but during his media, somebody had asked him, "Hey, did the Bears, did Chicago tell you they were going to take you with number one?" And he just laughed and walked off the interview. I don't know. I'd say it's pretty close to being a done deal as possible at this point.
I don't
Uh,
know. I mean, if I had to bet, I guess I would say that I don't done deal like would make me. Are we still gonna have Justin as the backup then? Like
I don't know.
I don't think that could happen. I think honestly, if you go with Caleb, you can't have Justin on the team because he can't fuck up at all. Then
No, but you also don't want, I mean, I guess really beggars can't be choosers if you're going to take a quarterback and the trade market really isn't that hot for Fields. You got to take what you can get for him. Because I've been on that, thing where if you take Caleb, you cannot have Justin on the roster. You just can't. There's too many variables in that. So, I mean, from what I understand, there's really three teams that are in the market for Justin Fields, and that's Atlanta, Pittsburgh, and surprisingly the Raiders of all teams. But those are the three teams I'm hearing that I'm seeing a lot of. Um, I don't know. We'll see. I would still expect Justin to be traded before free agency starts, which is a couple weeks. Um, but around this time is where we had the framework deal last year. I can only assume it's going to be the same thing this year. Any trade, whether it be for Justin or the number one overall pick, which I really think it's going to be Justin that goes this year. Framework of the deal is he's probably talked to some teams. He probably has an idea of what he can get. Um, so just be checking for phone notifications here in the next couple of weeks about breaking news, whether it be one way or another. But I'm more, I'm more, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm more sold on the fact that they're going to take Caleb number one now than I, ever had. I'm more confident that they're going to take Caleb number one than anything I've seen so far.
I kind of feel the opposite. I feel like I'm less just because if what you say is true, then they would have already gotten rid of Justin for nothing.
That's not true. That's
If
not true
like if
at
they were
all.
sold on Caleb, like why wouldn't they? What are they holding on to Justin for? Why is Paul's
Because
answering
you
I want
still,
to do
I
right
mean,
by
because you,
Justin questions? Like,
yeah, I mean, he still wants to do right by Justin. He's not just going to be like, all right, well, I'm
does this
sold on
feel
Caleb,
like
so
right?
I'm just going to go and trade him for a 6th round pick. Like,
What I'm
no,
saying is like that's what I mean. That's what's going to end up happening to anywhere if this goes any longer. And that's what I'm saying. Like he's saying, I want to do right by Justin. What would be right by Justin? Sending him somewhere he wants to go, or you know what I mean? Like getting this done quickly, like some of those things. And it's like neither of those are happening. So, um, and some weird stuff with the medical. Caleb is only submitting his medicals to um the teams he's
is
interviewing
that
with.
why is that weird?
Because it's pointless. Because isn't everybody going to have his? Don't you have to take a physical to enter the draft? Like, or
No,
but once like in training camp and all that too. Like, if you're hurt, that's public knowledge, right? You can't hide injuries once you get into training camp, right?
absolutely, but you're part of that team already. The only reason why he didn't want to share
Yeah, but
medicals
what
is
I'm saying
because
is like, how would that hurt anything if he shared his medicals with the Packers?
why would the Packers need it? The Packers don't need it if he's not going to be
Well,
on
they're
the
going to get it
roster.
anyway. I mean, everyone's going to have it once like the season starts.
Eventually,
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
maybe.
Who does it hurt? Not maybe. Like it's like illegal for you to hide injuries. If anybody's hurt, it has to be.
It's not. It has nothing to do with injuries. It's just his medical history in general.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like you and I. It's like you and I. You know what I'm saying? Like if we're let's just say we're applying, for jobs or whatever on Indeed, and the three jobs that we go interview say we want your medicals. Okay, fine, no problem. But jobs that we didn't even apply for are like, wait a minute, we want your medicals too. No,
but what
what?
I'm saying is like
So
he
hold on. Why is
well
it
he
such a
did
big
apply.
deal? Why is it such a big deal then that, that's a red flag for him, but Marvin Harrison Jr.
Well, it's a red flag
completely
for him too.
skipping,
Yeah,
you know what
I
I'm
agree.
saying?
I mean, I haven't, I
Like,
wasn't praising him. I'm not a fan of skipping the combine. I was honestly trying to write a list of people that completely blew off the combine and didn't do anything who turned out to be great NFL players. Like, I
I see a
don't.
point in what he's doing, both
What
Caleb
I'm saying, like,
And
I see
Marvin
the
Harrison.
point, but they're doing like it's just very diva, and it's like,
I don't think so. I don't
yes,
I
it
don't see
is,
what the big deal
and
is. I don't
I'm
see
not
what the
saying
big
it's a big deal. Like it doesn't affect me. It's not. But what I'm saying is like it's not a big deal when Terrell Owens throws a tantrum on the sideline at the fucking Cowboys game. It's not a big deal. It's still diva behavior. It's not a big deal to me. Like,
I
but
don't even
I'm not saying
just
that's the same
because the
thing.
kid
Like,
doesn't want the whole
yeah,
that,
but
that
everyone isn't he like the first person ever to do that? They said or something like that.
yeah.
That's a part of being in the NFL. You do it,
Yeah, but
and not
times
wanting to
change.
do so. But yeah, and being the person who wants to change the times makes you a diva.
No, it doesn't.
Or what is you? You think he's a fucking revolutionary?
No, he could be
He
a
just wants to be.
trendsetter. He
Yeah,
can
that's what
he
I'm
you know
saying.
what I'm
Like
saying? That's not
trendsetters are
diva
divas.
behavior.
Who are
That
trendsetters?
that
Beyonce, fucking Taylor Swift. These are
no,
divas.
no.
Trendsetters are divas. Rappers, divas. These people who set the trends are divas.
That
LeBron
that's
James.
that's
Like
not
that's what
that
I'm
Michael Jordan?
diva. He is.
No, come
Yes, he
on.
was. Michael Jordan
Come
was
on.
the equivalent of like a fuck like Michael Jackson or the head of the Temptations, where if you didn't do it his way, there was a fucking problem.
And that's not diva behavior.
Yes, it
That's
is.
just no,
It's
it's not.
my way or the highway is deep behavior, and that's fine. I'm not saying it. You can't redirect it
That
and channel it. Kobe Bryant's a diva. I like these guys. I'm not saying that. Well, what I'm saying is like that's what it is. When it's me, you got to do it my way. That's you being a diva.
you're a diva?
At times, sure. I guess. I mean, there. I think I'm more. But what I'm saying is like I don't like this. Like, oh, I'm trying to change the NFL. That you know what I mean. There's stories coming out. His team are trying to circumvent the CBA so he doesn't have to sign an NFL a rookie scale contract.
It's not him, and those
No, I
reports
don't.
are not even.
That part I'm not gonna. That's bullshit. It's not him. You think his dad's just acting like just doing whatever he wants? He's never spoke to Caleb about it. They're not on the same page at all, and he's just doing. His dad's just doing his own thing.
His dad is trying to do what he feels is best for his son, and I get it. I
But you don't
understand
think
it,
they discussed that?
but no,
He needs.
absolutely not.
But what I mean is,
Absolutely not.
yeah, I guarantee you.
There is no chance. So you're telling me that the ball boys talked
Yes.
to their dad about everything before his dad
Well,
spouted
his
off
dad
and
wasn't.
started saying a whole bunch of shit?
But his dad, their dad was just being a prick, saying there's his sons were the best ever. He wasn't saying I
That's
want
pretty
to.
much what Carl's saying, is it
No,
not?
he's saying I want to circumvent the CBA, and I don't want my son to have to sign a rookie wage scale deal.
And why? And so he's looking out for the best interest of his kid, just
Oh,
like LeVar Ball
but
was,
what I'm saying is like, yeah,
trying
LeVar
to blow
Ball is,
him up.
but I mean, how's it going to blow him up? Because it's not going to happen. But what I'm saying is just again, like, oh, I want to be paid like differently than I've never played in the league, and I want to be paid like somebody who has. Right? That's what he's asking for, right?
That's not what he did. Those words come out of his mouth.
Well, if you want to circumvent the rookie deal, what are you saying? You want more money or less
Did
money?
he say that? Did Caleb Williams say, "I want to circumvent the CBA"? Did he say that? Did it come
No.
out of his camp?
Well, yeah, the agents reported that that's what his dad was saying. That he wants. Well, you
That
have
his
to.
dad,
It's.
what his dad was saying.
I don't know. Well, so we're pretending like his dad doesn't speak for
You
him at
got to
all.
take you got to take everything his dad says with a grain of salt. Everything,
But nothing.
because the man
So
is nuts.
who? I don't. Then couldn't Caleb just say, "Hey, don't put the word out to."
How many pro athletes have told their family members or their dads or whatever, hey, shut the fuck up, and they don't shut the fuck up? Tom Brady has told his dad, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
And what does
but
Tom
again,
Brady's
his
dad
dad
do?
isn't.
Tom Brady's dad goes on the radio and starts talking shit.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it
but
just
he's not.
happens.
He's not trying to change the fucking narrative in the NFL. Like that's different. Like your dad going on fucking Boston talk radio and saying Belichick's an idiot. My son's good. That's what I think LeVar Ball did, saying like LeVar Ball didn't try and change any money. He just said my son's the best player in the draft. I'm better than Michael Jordan. My sons are the best. My sons are the best. They're the best. He wasn't saying that like Lonzo deserves to get paid more. Lonzo, we should. I know Lonzo's really popular. We should talk about him getting some equity in the Lakers. Like that's not what LeVar Ball was
there is
doing.
absolutely no way that Caleb Williams has come out at all and said, you know what, I want to do this. I want to. There's no
Okay,
way.
by your
And
logic,
the
he didn't come
only
out and say he.
and it's not unprecedented. Yeah, they changed this in the CBA, but let's not forget this rookie scale wasn't a thing 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm not saying
So
that it can't
it's
change.
not like he's changing the game. It's
Well,
already happened.
yes, he's trying to change the game. You could
No,
change it back to
he
something else.
change it back,
Well, I mean,
revert
it
it
just
back,
change it to
maybe, but
something
it's not
else.
a.
But
I mean,
like,
it's not like something that he's trying to do something that's never been done before. You know what I'm saying? And
I'm
like
not
I said,
saying,
I don't
well, that
even
doesn't
think
make
this
you
is
I'm
Caleb.
not saying it has to be something you never do. What I'm saying is like he's trying to change the status quo. He thinks that the system as it is in place is not good enough for him or his team does.
Maybe his
And
team, but that's not
and
him.
but that's why you have a team, so you could be like, well, I'm completely away from it. Wasn't me. Like that's I mean, like, or we're being naive enough to say that he has nothing to say at all. Like not they're not representing him at all in any fashion. He doesn't want any of those
He
things.
said what he needed to say at his press conference.
Well, he said what you're supposed to say,
But
not what. But he didn't say my dad doesn't speak for me. All that shit. That he didn't
he
he
said it before. He said it before that his dad doesn't speak for him.
well, and he also confirmed that his dad was asking around for equity stakes with agent talking to agents about that. So
And
it's like, so what I'm saying is like he's obviously involved in it somehow.
I'll just agree to disagree with you on that one.
I don't, I don't. Well, I just find it hard to like that he would just be going around just not like his son doesn't want that and he's just doing it anyway.
I mean, isn't that kind of what agents do anyway?
No,
What?
if you tell your
Agents don't try to do and get the very best they can for their players.
yes, but not NFL agents don't say, hey, we don't want to be a part of the rookie wage scale. It's or like,
Because
hey, do you
NFL
guys
agents
can
because
we
agents
change
know how
these?
the system works. This is his dad.
Okay,
He's not even an NFL, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's just a dad trying to get what he
yeah, I
can
agree
for
that.
his
I'm not
son.
saying he's a mastermind. What I'm saying is like I envision he had some kind of conversation with his son. He talks to him
Uh,
sometimes, maybe a text message, voicemail. Like he's just doing whatever he wants and with no with no regard of how it affects his son at all.
it happens.
I mean, it does, but I'm not saying it can't happen either. Well, but usually we that comes out that
And you know what? And here's the thing, maybe this is just a an old take from me or whatever. I don't care if he wins football games. I don't care. And nobody in that locker room is going to care either if he's winning football games. Nobody.
um
Nobody in the stands is going to care if he's winning football games.
probably not. No,
Oh, come on. There's people who have killed people that, people
I
don't give a
mean
fuck about
everybody get. I mean
because they
people. I
win
mean
football games.
they got Aaron Rodgers got stale. He won a lot of
Talent,
games.
talent, talent in the NFL, talent in sports in general, circumvents
Yes,
almost
but this is
anything you
perceived.
can
But what I'm
do
saying is like
off the
that's
field.
fine. But he has zero talent to me right now. He's never played before. So
Oh,
to
that's
so
such a
so for you to say that like oh well Kobe got to do it like they proved it. They put in the work to where they could talk the talk. This guy's a nobody. So he can't like for me to give him the same like to be like, oh well, that's what they like. Those guys all earn that. Tom Brady, these guys earn that.
to say that he's got zero talent right now.
What I'm saying is like in regards to the NFL, I don't know if he's a superstar NFL player or a bust, is what I mean. I'm not saying obviously I'm not saying he's Nathan Peterman. What I'm saying is like he has no body of work. He could like sure he could be the most talented guy again and go 10 and 28 too. We just saw it. Very talented player and it didn't go that well. So he has no like this like oh well talented players get to do that. He hasn't done anything.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. What I'm saying is that in my personal belief, Caleb Williams is not this superficial diva that everybody is making him out to be. Does he have diva-ish traits? Probably, absolutely. But which professional athlete doesn't? Every
Um,
single professional athlete on the planet has a little bit of diva in them.
yeah,
Every single one of them.
yeah. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like this. If he's trying to shake up the rookie, or they're trying to shake up the rookie scale, isn't he going to try and
They,
shake up the quarterback market when
well,
it's
see,
time to
here's the
pay
thing.
him?
They can try all they want. And like I said, I have no problem with them trying. Sure, try. But you know what? It's not going to happen. And I don't care as long as you win football games. Now, if we draft you number one overall and you're still pulling this bullshit and you stink up the joint, then there's a problem. But until then, we'll cross that bridge
But
when we
what
get
I'm
to it.
saying is like everyone's like, all right, I'm going to deal with that because I'm pretty sure he's not going to stink up the joint. If like some bum player was doing that, we would be like, this guy's a fucking idiot.
Well, there's a big difference between. I mean, they just see the talent wise. We're talking about prospects here, right?
Yeah,
I mean, if it was JJ McCarthy, it'd be a little bit of a different story because of the way everybody's blowing Caleb Williams up.
that's basically
So
my point. Is what
and
I'm
he's
saying.
and he's more under a microscope than any of these other prospects because he's been talked about for the last 3 years being, such a great prospect for the NFL and blah 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 blah. So I get it. I get where everybody's criticism is coming from, but I really feel like we're making this a harder decision than what it has to be,
Well, I
and that's
mean,
just
I
my
don't.
opinion.
I I think it is a hard decision. I don't know if it's a harder decision. I mean, I guess are making it harder than it has to be. I just think it is a difficult decision because, like, I don't know. Like, I'm not a fan of um trying to fix our problems from the outside. If, like I said, if I thought it was one player, then maybe so. Or a coach, then maybe so. But I just think again, we're getting caught in the cycle. And if we take a quarterback again, like we've talked about, we're in the same one. And if we're not good next year, Eberflus is getting fired, and then we're in the same like destructive cycle that we've seen fail on numerous occasions.
Well, I will say
And
this. I will put it on record right now that if the Bears draft Caleb Williams and trade Justin Fields and finish with a worse record than 7-10, I will do this podcast in full clown makeup.
I don't understand where you see this confidence that they're just going to win 8 games next year. Like that's not like a lot of good teams with good quarterbacks who didn't have injuries didn't win that many games.
I have that confidence
Um,
because I really feel like in terms of what now kind of not having to pay if you decide to go this Caleb Williams route, you're not having to pay Justin Fields in a couple of years. You have a little bit of money to play with these next 3 years, plus with a salary cap bump. You're going to improve your roster. You're definitely going to upgrade the center position. You're most likely going to get an edge rusher. That defense is a playoff caliber defense. That defense
I don't
alone is
know.
going to keep you in games for a rookie
We
quarterback.
had a
I know
bad schedule last year. I think
we're
our
we're
defense
still
get.
gonna have a we're still gonna have. I mean, it's not
I
gonna be
mean,
a
we'll have a good. I don't think the defense is going to be horrible. What I'm saying is like we don't have this fucking horse of a defense that can carry us through the season. Like if we play bad teams, yeah, but we saw when we played anybody who was any good at all, they couldn't carry us. And
and we
we
also couldn't score any points.
that's what I'm saying. That's the defense not being able to carry you.
You know,
So if we
we're
like, so that's what I'm saying. You're so basically you're saying you think or Caleb's going to come in and we're going to score 25 points a game. And again,
I
like I don't.
think I
Rookies
I
don't normally do that, even if they're the best rookies we've ever seen. Like
I
Peyton
think
Manning didn't
with
do it.
I think with the with well, and again, we're talking about a situation where these number one draft picks, these quarterbacks are going into situations where they are going to a team that legitimately had the worst record in football, and this is not the case with
We
the
were bottom
Chicago
10,
Bears.
though. It wasn't like we were a wild card team. We were bottom
It doesn't,
10.
but it doesn't matter.
We,
We were a team on the rise with an improving roster and more money to spend. Of course, it's going to take a little bit of time to get everything to gel together. But with no 7-10 team has ever had the number one overall pick. No number one overall pick has ever come into a situation as good as what they'll be going into with the Chicago Bears in the history of
but
football
that doesn't mean
ever.
that doesn't necessarily equal success.
It's unprecedented. We don't know. That's why I have that confidence
But
because
we
this
do
has
know,
never happened
but
before.
we have seen very good quarterback prospects get drafted and go to a team who was good already. Like it's not like yeah, the number one pick we haven't seen done, but we've seen plenty of rookies go to a team that was pretty good and they didn't make the playoffs their rookie
Like,
season.
I just want this to be over so this argument can be done and over with.
Well,
I'm
that's
not.
due, and it's yeah, it is. I don't know. I guess I'm a little burnt out on it. I think a lot of. I think again, I think it's turned bitter because not you in particular, but most people in this debate, you've had to. I mean, I do harp on Caleb. I've never liked Caleb too. So, like I said, I've got video evidence from before he was even on our radar that I didn't like the kid. I won't say I don't like the kid. I just think he's overhyped. I never thought he was the next Patrick Mahomes. But I think people are just really rough on Justin, and they're giving this kid the benefit of the doubt and not the guys on my team, and I don't like that. I'm a pretty loyal person, and it's like I honestly I haven't even been listening to Cap and J Hood anymore because I think Cap is really disrespectful to Justin. The other day I'm watching and he's like, Justin needs to shut his mouth. Like what? For somebody
Is that
who
what he is? Is
he
is that what he went
literally
on the St.
said,
Brown's podcast?
no, yeah, or yeah, he said that like he needs to shut his mouth and just like for somebody who literally does the opposite of shut his fucking mouth about things that he has no fucking say in or nobody gives a fuck about what he thinks really to tell Justin he needs to shut his mouth is ridiculous because he's so fucking the Chicago local media is so fucking got a hard on for Caleb that they're like getting to this thing where they're just talking crazy about Justin and to Justin when again I will 100% admit he's been underwhelming and mediocre at times with flashes. But besides that, he's been excellent bear as it pertains to doing his job. You know what I mean? Not being a bitch and sitting out when he wasn't really hurt. You know what I mean? Doing you know what I mean? Being a leader on the team. The guys ride for him. Everyone loves him. So I think you don't have to fucking be telling him. So, and again, Cap's a fucking 6-year-old man telling some kid to shut the fuck up when he went on one podcast and was very, I thought, um, polite and like measured, and he didn't really say anything crazy. He just was like, maybe you don't like his excuse. I even said I thought it was kind of silly. You know what I mean? There's other ways of going about it, but if that's how the kid wants to fucking handle it, then that's how he can handle it. And for fucking Cap to get up on there and tell Justin he needs to shut his mouth. And like it just honestly felt like when fucking Lauren or whatever her face from CNN is telling LeBron to shut up and dribble. Like it can he like Cap literally talks about him and Caleb every single day for fucking
Yes.
6 months. And Justin can't go on one podcast for 45 minutes and say, I'm just tired of hearing about it. And you literally have the fucking balls to get up on TV and tell him to shut his mouth. Like, that's
Well,
bull. And I think a lot of the Chicago local media are doing it because they've got a hard on for Caleb because they know that's going to be good radio.
it's not just local Chicago media. It's a lot of national
I don't
media
know. I
as
feel like a
well.
lot of the national media have been more with Justin than like Keyshawn Johnson, a lot of ex players. I feel like
A
they're
lot of former players, but see, here's the thing too. Like you'll see a lot of former players. I feel this is just again my opinion. I feel that former players will always stick with their guys, the guys who have been in the league over rookies that are coming in because a lot of them too. And I'm not saying this is completely the case, but a lot of them are bitter. A lot of them have been in that position where they weren't good enough or they were, at the tail ends of their career and their draft, their replacements got drafted and you know what I'm saying? Like,
or
so
some team thought they didn't have anything left and they did. I mean, I
yeah,
agree
like,
there, and I just said that I'm loyal to my guys. I'm not saying that Justin was so good that I think he should be beyond reproach of us replacing him. I'm not saying it at all. I'm just saying, like I have been saying before I even thought Caleb was coming to our team, I don't think he's that good. And if there's no offers there for the number one pick that are worth it, then you do what you do. Um, but I don't like how a lot of people have been I don't know disrespectful and slandering Justin in this whole process when he's our guy. It's one thing to make fun of a fucking guy who's not even on our team yet. Like he's not even one of us. and things like that. So to be having a hard on for this guy, giving him the benefit of the doubt, and you know what I mean, fucking rubbing his balls. Like I said, I didn't like that from Cap, and I've always liked Cap because he is a true fan. And I'm not saying I don't think he's a fan. I just think like he has lost it. I think it's just been so long of us being bad, and like Caleb is this shiny new thing that everyone swears is going to be the best quarterback ever, and they're mesmerized by it. And like I said, it's going to up their ratings if once we get a number one overall pick quarterback who's more might be more exciting than Justin. So I understand why they want it, but and like I said, there's and more it's more guys than Cap, but he's one of my favorite. And like I said, I honestly just stopped and listening because he just is like miserable about this whole thing. And like I think for the last few months, last month in particular, he's just been really slandering Justin. And like I said, that whole tell him to shut his mouth thing, it's like all you do is run your mouth.
Well, what about guys like Tom Waddle, who was a Chicago Bear, who who's saying that the Bears should take Justin,
Yeah,
or
I'm
that
again.
the
I'm
Bears should
not.
take
You say
Eberflus.
that. I'm not against the idea. And that, like I said, I don't think Justin's beyond um that point where he shouldn't be. His job shouldn't be up for grabs. He's been mediocre. He's been underwhelming. And if Ryan Poles really thinks that that Caleb's gonna be the next Patrick Mahomes, then obviously you take him. But I just like if you think he's gonna be the next Patrick Mahomes, are you gonna treat him like he's Patrick Mahomes? Is he gonna sit for a year? Are you know what I mean? You're gonna get him these weapons like this is the process, and that's why I think next year isn't going to go so well. Like rookies, even some of the best ones. CJ Stroud had a great year, and we this often happens where flash in the pan seasons happen, and everyone's like, "Oh, now rookies are just going to be fucking good day one again." It's like that was one guy. Trevor Lawrence sucked. All the guys in the Justin Fields class have sucked. Like quarterbacks, it took 2 or 3 years. Herbert was pretty good from the jump, but he can't seem to piece together wins. Like it's not Burrow's only played half his games. Kyler hasn't done shit. Like Baker is on his third team, possibly his fourth team. Like it's this
Baker's
it.
on his fourth team already.
That's what I'm saying. Possibly a fifth team. Like yeah, so it's like this isn't some Cinderella story where you plug this guy in and we like all our problems are solved. Like we still have we didn't all the games we lost weren't because our quarterback wasn't good enough. Like
I wouldn't go that far. There was a couple of them where
yeah,
you
I
know
think there are games that I think Justin left on the field, but I think that vice versa, where Justin and the offense played good and put up 30 points, we fucking lost. Um, but I just like I said, rookie like I've been harping, rookies usually don't mean you're going to the playoffs next year, and just because C.J. Stroud did it, um, honestly, statistically, wouldn't mean it was less likely to happen back to back years. Um, and that's just how. And we were 7-10 with the easiest schedule in the year. This whole our defense was this or that. Yeah, it was pretty good against the bad teams we were playing. Um, but we had a really easy schedule. We were realistically, anytime you saw us matched up against a good team outside of the fucking Lions, we got shit on. And I think we're probably realistically like the fifth worst team in the league, and we just had an easy ass schedule. And we played the fucking Raiders with no quarterback. We played the Panthers. We played the fucking Falcons. Like, I think we got blessed with easy schedule. So this, like, oh, we were 7-10, yeah, sure, but we were still bottom tier team in the league. Yeah, sure, we weren't the worst team in the league, but we weren't much better than the worst team in the league. Like,
well, let's take a look at who their opponents are this year. Okay. So obviously the divisional opponents, you play them twice. So Detroit, Minnesota, Green Bay, you're going to play them twice. Your hope there is that you split, right? You go 3-3 with those. At home, non-divisional opponents, you'll have the Rams, the Seahawks, the Jaguars, the Titans, the Panthers, and the Patriots. Right there, how many wins do you see just for home? I'm not talking about divisional opponents. Rams, Seahawks, Jaguars, Titans, Panthers, Patriots.
I guess
We'll go down the list. Los Angeles Rams,
no. If everybody's
Seattle
healthy, no.
Seattle Seahawks.
I'd say no right now.
I'm gonna put that in the maybe column because
Maybe, yeah. That's why
new
I don't
head
know who we're
coach
signing in free agency. I don't know any of that stuff, so I'd say I don't know. But right now,
Jacksonville Jaguars,
I'll say them if we're all at full strength.
Tennessee Titans.
That's us.
That's a win.
Yeah, that's a
Carolina
win.
Panthers. That's a
Probably
dub.
win. Yeah.
New England Patriots. That's a dub.
Yes.
All right,
Probably.
Now we're going away. Arizona. That's a dub.
I don't know. I
That's a
have to
dub.
see. Yeah, I don't know. They played us good this year, and they were
San
bang.
Francisco.
That's a loss,
That's a loss.
obviously.
Houston. Probably a loss.
Probably.
Indianapolis.
I don't know. That's a toss up.
That's
That's a
that.
pick 'em
Yeah, that's on the fence.
because
And
they're even
Washington.
decent. Yeah. No, again, we see how what they do. They'll have a rookie quarterback. They're spending a bunch of money right now. I'd say, I don't know. We barely beat them with Justin, right? It was a shootout that came down to the
Yeah,
last. Or no,
yeah.
is that the one they came back and won?
No, Washington. Washington's the game that Justin threw for 4 touchdowns
Yeah. Well, I thought no.
or
Well, he threw for 4 touchdowns against
3 touchdowns
the Broncos, and they came back and won,
to
right?
DJ Moore. Yeah,
Yeah. So what was that?
8 wins.
8. Yeah. But it's the NFL. Things
Yeah, I
happen.
know.
I mean, I picked
Absolutely.
8 or 9 for the Bears this year. And I was pretty close. But what I'm saying is like 8 wins don't get you in the playoffs.
I wasn't talking to, but it's still an improvement. I'm
Yeah, I
saying
mean,
if they lose
yes, but
more,
is it an improvement if our whole team improves? If we get another elite pass rusher, another wide receiver weapon, a center, 8 wins is not an improvement.
it's not an improvement.
It's one
I
win, and we added somebody you said that's a generational talent quarterback, another edge rusher.
so let me ask you this: the Bears win eight
The
games
playoffs
next
is an
year.
improvement.
They go 8-9. Caleb Williams throws for 3,800 yards. That's that's a bad season. That's not an improvement at all.
At quarterback stats, I think improvement for us would be the playoffs.
I mean, I think they should be a playoff team.
You just said 8. That's not a
Yeah, well,
playoff
I'm
team.
saying that's 8 at least, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
yeah, but
You know what I'm saying?
but
And
the
that's if you
same.
split.
Yeah, and that's if we and we're not, and more than likely we're not going to split. Lions are going to get
No,
better. Packers are about to get better. I
I
mean,
think
the
Minnesota's
Vikings will
going to go
probably
down the
suck,
drain.
huh?
I think Minnesota's going to go down the drain.
Yeah,
I think they're
probably.
going
I
to
don't know what
trade
they're
Justin
doing.
Jefferson.
They might. No, they're not. No,
I
they're
think they're
gonna.
going to trade. There's no
Who?
way they pay Justin Jefferson 35 million a
Nobody
year.
wants to overpay for the number one overall pick in Caleb Williams. You're not going to do it for Justin Jefferson.
There,
They didn't.
there's, there,
They didn't want.
they'll be a
People didn't
team.
want to trade for Lamar Jackson, and Lamar
That's
Jackson's
different.
worth. No, it's not. What is it?
That's different. That's
What's
different
different about it?
because that's different because how many quarterbacks realistically have gotten traded as opposed to wide receiver? You take a look at wide
What I'm
receivers that get
saying is like
traded
I'm
all
not.
the time.
Well, he was available. I'm not saying he was going to get traded on blue. Any team literally could have offered the Falcons or the Ravens 2 first-round picks, and they would have Lamar Jackson.
I think it's going to cost 3 for
That's
Justin
my
Jefferson.
and that's my point. So they wouldn't pay. No team would
But
pay 2 firsts for Lamar Jackson, 2-time MVP, but they're going to pay 3 firsts for Justin Jefferson, the wide receiver who's never done anything.
because we all know what really happened with
And,
the whole Lamar Jackson thing. We all know what happened.
Tyreek Hill didn't even go for that.
Tyreek Hill got 2 firsts, and
Yeah, that's
he
what I'm saying.
went
He
for
didn't go for
6
3 firsts.
total picks. And Tyreek Hill was also what 29 at the time.
I don't know.
Justin Jefferson's
No, I think he was
24 years
younger than
old.
29. Was it 3 years ago? Now,
No, 2 years ago.
yeah,
This was his second year with Miami, and he's going into
that's what I'm
turning
saying. So this
31.
would be the third year. So it was two. Okay,
Yeah,
2 years. Sorry, I was only 1 year off. I don't think like that's a lot for Justin Jefferson, and I don't like. Yes, Lamar Jackson's situation was a little different, but if you weren't going to go all out for a fucking guaranteed MVP quarterback, then what the fuck are you going to do it for a wide receiver for?
because the owners aren't colluding against Justin Jefferson.
They might. I don't know. I don't know. Well, like they might keep Kirk Cousins though. Kirk Cousins is a hometown boy. I don't think he's going to
There's
though.
that's my problem is that Justin Jefferson wants to get paid. How are they going to afford Justin Jefferson
Well, they're about to lose to
and
Neil Hunter. They can afford it. You
Kirk
figure it
Cousins?
out.
You're going to have to pay Kirk Cousins $40 million.
Yeah,
You're going to
you
have to
pay
you're going to have to pay
Justin
Justin Jefferson
30,
35.
and then who else are they paying? Nobody. They're fine.
Like,
And we just got 30. Everybody just got 30.
you know what? If they do that, I'll be happy because it completely cripples them in terms of flexibility on what they're
Well,
going to
no,
be
you
able to
sign
do.
what I'm assuming they would do is like sign Kirk to a 2 year, 40 million, whatever. Yes.
But
And
would Kirk take it though?
I
I
mean,
don't.
that's only he's getting. He ain't gonna get no more than maybe 3 years somewhere else. He ain't getting more than
I,
2 years at 40
I've
anyway.
I've seen his market value. Yeah, it was like somewhere like
What
3 years, 3 years, $129 million.
yeah. And maybe
was
I don't
his
know
mark.
what Baker getting. I think he's in the Baker venue. Like,
Baker,
think
no, I don't think he's gonna get more than I don't think he's gonna get less than Baker. I think
I don't
Baker.
think less. I'm saying it's going to be in that range, and Baker's looking at 30. So I don't know. Like, but I just think they don't have. They'll keep Cousins for 2 years. They'll probably hopefully draft JJ McCarthy or trade up and get somebody in the second round, Bo Nix or somebody. They're not. I don't think the Vikings want to completely suck next year, and they're not in a position to get a quarterback. Um, and I'm pretty sure Kirk Cousins seems like the type of guy that don't want to move. So
Well, they do have what was their pick 11th? I think Minnesota pick
I think
11th
the
or 13th or something
13th
like
or
that.
something like that.
They definitely, if they want to re-sign Kirk Cousins for 2 years and take a flyer at JJ McCarthy or a Bo Nix or somebody, or late in the first round like that, mid first round to let them sit behind Kirk Cousins, then that's probably their best path. But
Yeah.
like I said, it's if you're paying Kirk Cousins and you're paying Justin Jefferson, you're almost crippling your team in terms of your payroll. I know
Uh,
everybody just got thirty
it
million
depends who
dollars
you
extra,
pay,
but
though. Who you're paying? Like they don't have anybody else to pay. Like I mean,
well,
you got to pay extra.
we've also seen that the salary cap is just an imaginary thing because
Yes,
teams like New Orleans and
the
Los
Chargers.
Angeles, the Chargers, they keep getting away with this shit where they're just kicking the can down the road and they somehow magically always end up under the cap to sign more free agents anyway. Like last year when they signed Derek Carr, we're like, there's no fucking way. They're $46 million in the hole. How are they going to sign Derek Carr? All of a sudden, hey, the Saints signed Derek Carr for $40 million a year. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Where did
that's
that
why
come
again,
from?
that's why I'm not big on this. Oh, they got to get rid of Justin Jefferson and the money and all that. Like Kansas City knew they had to. They had to re-sign Chris Jones, Sneed, all types of other stuff.
But
Tyree,
they still haven't even re-signed those guys.
they're about. Oh well, they tagged Sneed. They're gonna re-sign Jones here.
Sneed's about to get a tag and trade.
They're not tagging trade.
They've allowed him to go seek a trade and all that other shit. I don't know what you're giving up for Ladarius Sneed, but
Yeah.
he's a tag and trade candidate. They're saying the same thing about T Higgins, but what are you going to get for T Higgins?
Well, that's all I'm saying. I think Justin Jefferson's amazing. I just don't think a team's going to give up 3 first-round picks for a wide receiver. What team? What team right now is a wide receiver away from winning the Super Bowl?
Kansas City.
They just won without one. That's what I'm saying. Like they're not
Exactly.
going to do it. Like
You don't think Kansas
and
City would be like
not 3 first. They
Kansas
could
City
go get
would
Mike Evans.
definitely
They could go get Mike Evans for 25. And
Kansas City would definitely give up 3 first round picks for Justin Jefferson.
no.
There is not a doubt in my
Why would they
mind
let Tyreek Hill leave then?
because Justin Jefferson's 24 years old and he's the best wide receiver in football.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but they don't need the best receiver in football. They need a complete team.
I get that, but
He's
if
been the best receiver in football. When
you
has the
have the
best? I mean, honestly, the best receiver in football had literally the only good one is Jerry Rice, Brandy Moss, T.O. Fucking these guys never won. Megatron, they never won. Like having the best wide receiver means nothing.
uh,
Literally, like the best wide receiver in the league is rarely on the best team in the league. It's fun.
no,
And Justin
but
Jefferson's good. He's amazing. Megatron, amazing. Megatron's a fucking unicorn, but he literally never did anything of meaning in his career besides stack up yards because it's too easy to take them out of the game when it really matters. I don't know. Just Jefferson staying in Minnesota. I think Kirk Cousins will be there too. I think I'm sure there'll be some kind of market. I just don't think anybody's giving up 3 firsts for a wide receiver when we just had a season where you could have gave up fucking 2 firsts to get Lamar Jackson and pay him the same amount of money you're about to pay Justin Jefferson. So it's like, um, but I'm ready for free agency. Brian Poole spoke. He had a lot of things to say. I don't know how I feel after he speaks. He's very good. Um, my money on it, I would bet Caleb just because I don't see anybody trading up. It doesn't seem like Washington's very interested. You haven't seen any stories where like, oh, after their visit, Washington was ecstatic or anything like that. Um, Caleb said about our meeting that there just wasn't enough time. 10 minutes wasn't enough time. I don't know. He's pretty well media trained already, which I don't like. I like when you got a little realness to you, and he was a little funny. He said all the right things. He seems like a personable kid, and I want it clear that I don't necessarily not like him as a person. I think he's a diva. I think a lot of quarterbacks are. I prefer more of the Tom Brady s like hard nosed diva. You know what I mean? Like break a fucking tablet if you're gonna be a diva type of guy. But I don't know. Tom Brady was the type of guy to take a pay cut to win, and I've said this before. I don't think Caleb's taking any pay cuts. Um, I don't envision that, and for that reason, I just don't envision many championships in our future. If you want to win, that's what you got to do. You got to kind of be a sub. Patrick Mahomes did it. Tom Brady did it, and who are they? The like they're on stacked, balanced team. I won't say stacked teams, but super balanced teams. A lot of the guys they like stay and they win because and that trickles down. That's how the type of person you are is the type of negotiator you're going to be, in my opinion. Like if you're fucking selfish, all about the money, then hey, I'm not telling these guys not to get their money. I'm just saying, hey, I'm watching, and if that's all you care about, that's fine. You know what I mean? That's your prerogative. But usually the guys that only care about money aren't also champions. And we're talking about we're trying to get some championships, right? Like that's what we're banging on the table for is championships, not the
The
highest paid
ultimate goal.
quarterback in the not the highest paid quarterback in the NFL who's really good, but like let's say it's like let's say he's Matt Stafford and he never wins one, but he puts up fucking 4,000 yards every year. Like, is that good enough? No. Like, I don't. And this it seems like this metric is like, oh, he's gonna throw. Justin never threw for 4,000 yards. You know what I mean? We need somebody who can do that. Like, I guess, but um, there's plenty of like Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson ain't never thrown for 4,000 yards. They seem to be doing all right. And Justin was on pace for like 3,600 yards and 800. He was on pace to do something nobody had ever done before. Again, he didn't hit it, and you know what I mean. That's how the cookie crumbles. And injuries and things like that. And that also could come and play in this season where you think they're going to go eight, you know what I mean, win 8 games or 9 games. Like I think they're going to win all those games if we're healthy. But our O line, nobody on our O line's played a whole season yet. I think maybe Darnell Wright. Did he miss any games last year?
No, Darnell Wright played the whole year.
Yeah. So no, but besides him, not a single person on our O line has played an entire season ever. Um,
No, Braxton Jones played all year last year.
no, he missed
Start,
4 games at some point.
no, started every game as a rookie last year.
Oh, you're saying the year before that? Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Last year he missed 4 games, all right, something like that. He
yeah.
missed four, something like that. But Nate
Well,
Davis
you
is
said ever. That's why
yeah,
I was like,
yeah. I thought he missed some as a rookie, but like I said, I could be wrong. I know, like I said, Tevin Jenkins obviously did.
yeah.
Nate Davis isn't. I mean, we've had 4 different centers. Um, Jalen Johnson is a guy who likes to get hurt, and he's about to get paid, so he's going to have no incentive to go back into the game. Um, um, but we'll see. Well, if it's Caleb, you know what I mean. I'll get back to root for the Bears. I'll make it interesting because I'll get to say "I told you so" if he's ever bad, and if he's good, the Bears will be good. So it'll be a win-win. So, I just hope Poles does do right by Justin. I hope this is over soon. I think we've reached the point where it's just tearing the fan base apart. I know it's tough on Justin. Like I said, he's doing things that, you know what I mean, are uncharacteristic of him, unfollowing people, you know what I mean, having to go on podcasts to, you know what I mean, give some kind of details to his story. And it's just, let it be done. I think they've dragged this out too long. If they knew they were going to take Caleb or Drake May or whoever, they should have got whatever peanuts you were going to get for Justin and be done with it.
Well, you can't really do that until after you do the interviews and everything. Like you have to kind of spend time with your prospects. That's what I was saying was like after this
Yes, but if a
whole interview
conversation
process
is
has
going to
been,
move you off of Justin, then you're done with him.
it's also all about the person.
That's
And
what I
that's the
mean,
thing
though. But
too
what
is
I'm
that
saying is, like, if honestly a conversation with some kid for 30 minutes or an hour was going to be like, you know what, we're done with Justin, then you don't want him anyway. So, like, and it's fine. That's if that's what you want, then whatever. But I just thought we should have just been done with it. I know you can't actually trade anybody to the league year, but it could have been done and over with, and everybody could have moved on with their lives. And
well, there's 10 days until free agency. So they will be, you know, we'll find out. With before free agency, we'll know.
yeah, yeah. Last year, what did he trade the pick on the 10th?
Yeah,
I'm
we
guessing
will
we'll
know.
know something around then, like
We will
when
know
though.
for sure. NFL free agency starts in 10 days. It's the third right now. We're recording this a little after midnight. March 13th is when free agency starts. The legal tampering period starts a little bit before then, so I don't know if necessarily we'll find out then, but we will definitely find out before free agency, whether it's the day before or what.
Yeah. And that's why I've
But
been
leading up to it, we will definitely find out.
less confidence because like nothing's like they're saying like, oh, the odds are kind of changing, and people are saying like, oh, the Falcons reached out a couple months ago, but nothing real. And usually trades, it ain't like picks and stuff. Player trades, that
I
usually
get
gets
it,
out.
but the Vegas odds are very Vegas knows what they're doing, and their odds they've completely taken, the bet where they completely took like a bet off the board or something like that about Justin staying in Chicago because it's like
No, that's
his
not what happened. They the other
the
night
odds or whatever
they
was.
took it down, and people thought that meant that he was getting traded because usually when the trade's about to go down, they'll close the odds. I mean, odds are just odds. Vegas, you're right; they know what they're doing, but they also know how to set odds to entice people to take sucker bets.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but at the same time,
It's like I'm like
if you're
the
setting the
49ers
odds,
were the favorite to win the Super Bowl, and who really thought the 49ers were going to fucking win?
uh, I mean they were the better team on paper,
Yeah, but they didn't have Patrick Mahomes, and that's what
but
this whole conversation's been about anyway. The quarterback, like I'm assuming everybody's betting on. Like Vegas odds are just that they're algorithm based. I don't know exactly how they do trades, but um,
Vegas is very well connected.
yeah,
Like let's be honest. I mean,
yeah,
I could see what you're talking about, where San Francisco is favored to win the Super Bowl or whatever. I think that's a little bit different than a Justin Fields is. Who does he play for next year? And the Chicago Bears are,
yeah. Well, the difference is it's not rooted in any. It's just rooted in gossip. The odds to the
is
Super Bowl
it?
game is rooted in statistics.
But is it really gossip or is it?
Well, I mean, in theory, it is. It's not. I mean, information
In theory,
that you're
yeah,
getting
but
whispered to
you would
you that could be bullshit that they don't know that you're getting from some intern
the
or
sports
some.
books are, the
They're good.
Vegas in
I'm just saying. Well,
particular
some of
is
those they just really can't be that in tune. Because what you're saying, they got a leak and they all know the leak's leaking into to fucking. They all working together.
no, but
That's
there
what I
are
mean. Like
also,
they all got the same. They all got the same insider info. Like I don't know.
they know what they're doing
Yes.
with things like that. And like usually, yeah, a lot of it is to entice sucker bets, but at the same time, it's just I don't know. This situation is very I've never experienced it. We've never experienced it as Bears
Yes.
fans. It's
So
just
I
it's
think that's what
very
the problem is. A lot of people they just don't know how to feel, myself included, where this isn't going like these things normally go. And it's hard it's for someone who likes to try and predict these things, it's hard to predict. And each day I wake up and I feel differently. Um and I understand the Caleb argument. I'm not like one of these fans who are like, what do you see and all those things. I just like I said, to me it looks like fucking Justin Herbert esque. And just Justin Herbert is amazing. He throws for lots of yards, but for whatever reason, he's not winning games. Trevor Lawrence, same thing. Big arm, throws 4,000 yards. He doesn't really like last year they went to the playoffs and they luckily won a game. They were losing by 30 at halftime. Um, and they were only 9-8. They won a shitty division and he got in. Yeah, sure, that's impressive. You had a nice little second year, but again, he's not this super impressive guy. Like, and that's what I see in Caleb, and I think he's worse than like he's just a smaller body, doesn't have as big an arm as those guys, and yeah, sure, you might be able to put up 4,000 yards in garbage time with a lot of garbage time games, but are we going to be winning games? And
I mean, this is where
that's
you
what
and
I'm
I
saying. Like, I think
this
a
is where
lot.
you and I will differ.
My problem with the whole Justin thing. My biggest problem is the fans, the Justin detractors. It's this whole like, oh, we're gonna get this guy who throws for 4,000 yards. That means we're gonna win. Like there's like 10 quarterbacks in the NFL that throw for 4,000 yards every year. They lose. Like it's the play calling. It's the things like that. I don't, depending on what you're doing, you're running the ball. It's just the thing. Lamar Jackson has two MVPs. He's never thrown for 4,000 yards. He's only
Well,
come
and
close
see,
once.
I feel like a lot of our viewers and a lot of our listeners and stuff like that, I feel like they think that for whatever reason that I am a Justin Fields hater and that I am a Justin Fields detractor, and that could not be any further from the truth. I am not. I when I have these conversations with you and I'm playing devil's advocate and everything else like that, I'm thinking with my own personal opinion and how I feel like the business aspect of the league goes, not necessarily for the players. You're more for the players. I'm thinking more front office, what would I do in that position if I was in the front office? I try
Well,
to
I'm
think
thinking
like
that too.
them.
I just
You
think
know what I'm
I
saying?
think even if I
Well, I'm
was a
talking
front
about
office,
a lot of the people. I see a lot of the comments and stuff like that on the videos. They're, oh, you're a Justin hater, you're a Justin hater, and it's like, no, I'm not a Justin hater. I'm not. Justin Fields is a very exciting football player. He's the, you know what I'm saying. He is. He's not bad, but he's not good. He's just mediocre, like you said. He's right there in the middle. Would you say he's a top 15 quarterback? No. Is he a top 20? Borderline. He's probably 20th in the league in the NFL right now in terms of quarterbacks. If you take a look at the quarterbacks, if you gave me a list of quarterbacks on who you would take based off of, their play the last, year, Justin Fields is probably 20th on that list. And that's okay. It's not the worst, but it's also not the best. It's just right there, stuck in the middle. And that it is what it is. He's just a mediocre guy right now. He's just a guy. And if you
I agree. His play is mediocre. I don't think he's just a guy. I think he is more than just a guy who hasn't reached his peak. And I understand that polls might not want to wait. Other fans might not want to wait to see that come. I do think that if we trade Justin, we will regret it. And then, like I said, unless he ends up on a shitty team who is even worse than us, who don't have any talent, um, I think we will. I think he's a good kid. I think he's gonna have a nice long career. And like I said, maybe he won't ever win the MVP, but I think he will be better than Caleb when it comes to wins and losses. I think this whole 10-28 thing they've tried to lay at Justin's feet is bullshit. Eberflus gets an excuse for it. Poles gets an excuse for it. But for some reason, Justin does not, which is ridiculous. And I just think that's a bullshit burden to put on him that the GM's not accountable for our wins or losses. The head coach isn't accountable for our wins and losses, but Justin Fields is because he didn't throw for 4,000 yards. Well, Poles didn't sign any good, you know what I mean, very good free agents. He got a couple, but like he didn't get enough free agents. He didn't draft good enough. Eberflus didn't coach good enough. Like, and to lay it
I'll
on his
agree,
feet,
I'll agree with the Eberflus coaching thing, but I'm still gonna be more on the Ryan Poles side because he's done a pretty good job
that's
of
what I would
building this
say
team so
with
far. But
what he's been given.
the Matt
But
Eberflus thing, I will agree on. I do not think he is, a
and I'm
very
not
good
saying I
coach
think
yet.
Poles is bad. I'm just saying like I think for us being 10-28, he's accountable for it too. He doesn't get to. Why does he get like? Why is it an excuse that our roster sucks and he's just trying to rebuild it back up that we suck? That's fine. Right? The losses, the wins and losses, that record doesn't matter to Poles because that doesn't count against Poles because he's building up this shitty roster that we had. Right? This dumpster fire he stepped into. But Justin is captain of the dumpster fire. That you know what I mean. That you gave him. You didn't buy any new tires, anything, and he's out there, and like everyone gets an excuse but him. If he doesn't, we don't see results from him. That's bad. But if we don't see any results from what Brian Poles is doing, then
I
it's
don't
fine.
think so. I don't think so much. It's like flat out results as much as it's. Uh, it would be wrong to say Justin Fields hasn't improved because he has. I don't think the improvement is good enough to warrant passing on a quarterback class twice in a row. And I think that's where people are, kind of looking with the Caleb Williams thing is that we're not saying that, we're not holding Ryan Poles accountable or we're not holding Matt Eberflus accountable. There's been improvements in each one of their, sections in terms of Ryan Poles building the roster, Matt Eberflus with the coaching and turning the defense around and this, that, and the other. There's been a lot more growth and improvement in those areas than there has been Justin Fields at the quarterback position. And
I just
that's
think
where a
there was
lot of
more.
people are.
But to be fair, there was more growth to be had. We had nothing, so it's
What do
easy
you
for the
mean?
Ross. I mean, it's easier for Ryan Poles to make the roster better when we had nothing.
Well, we had nothing because he stripped it completely.
Yeah,
Like
but what I'm
he's
saying
the
is
one that
because he
made the
thought those
decision to
players weren't
just, you
good.
know what I'm saying?
But what I'm
And
saying,
I get that. I'm you know what I'm saying? But again, this is just in terms of improvements. And yes, you're right. It's easy to improve on a roster that had nothing. But again, that just makes Ryan Poles look good. He told us what he was going to do from day one. He told us this was his plan. This is what he was going to do. He was going to tear it down to the studs and rebuild. He was going to rebuild it the right way. And so far, we have not had a reason to, not trust him because he's done exactly what he said he was going to do. I'm still on the fence about Eberflus. He has a beard now. He looks like maybe he's getting some swag all of a sudden. I don't know. He was in GQ magazine or whatever the fuck it was, and he had a pretty decent little outfit on. But it's those small little improvements here and there for Justin that just hasn't been enough to, you know, show that he can be the guy for the future. And whether it's right or wrong, we'll find out. We'll find out.
yeah, well, that part
Um,
I do agree, and I think we are going to find out. And like I said, maybe he won't ever be. I just think like he, with the right team around him, he'd be just fine, and he'll lead a playoff team. And yeah, sure, he might throw bad fourth quarter interceptions, but people like it just grinds my gears that people don't pretend like every game doesn't end with the quarterback throwing a bad interception or fumbling. Like every close game ends like that, or bad play by the quarterback. But we'll see. And again, I'm not. I don't want to make it seem like I think Poles is necessarily doing a bad job. I'm saying the Bears are in a bad place right
yeah,
now,
yeah.
and the only person that seems to be being held accountable for it was Luke Getsy and Justin Fields. And as somebody who watched the game, and I would love to have seen more from the offense. I don't think it was all on them. Like, I mean, Poles this year, yes, DJ Moore was nice. It was a good little trade with the Panthers, but I don't think he put together a playoff roster for this year. I don't think this year what we put on the field was a playoff caliber team. I think we achieved the 7-10 is right about what we are. Sure, before the year I was optimistic and I was saying 10, but just in reality, we got DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, our fucking running backs, Khalil Herbert, middle of the pack O line that wasn't healthy. We got Montez Sweat for 7 games. Jalen Johnson had a great year. You know what I mean? So did our young guys on defense. They look good, but still minimal pass rush, slightly above average linebacking core, pretty good receive like DBs. But again, I don't think we were a playoff team. And so he's not overachieving. He hasn't built anything. I think again with he
He's
basically by
built a
trading
pretty
Justin,
good foundation.
he's implying that like Justin was holding us back.
I don't know if he's
And I think that's
implying.
bullshit. Like I
He's not
just
implying that.
well, if you're dumping him, if you're saying like he wasn't good enough, what are you saying? Then you thought we were going to make the playoffs? If we should
No,
have made the playoffs, then?
I don't think he's implying that it's Justin's
Well,
fault.
yeah,
I
you're right.
think
He's not applying it. He's basically flat out
he's
saying
not
that.
even saying that it's Justin's
Well, of
fault.
course,
He's
he's not
just
going to
saying
say.
that it's Justin's not good
He's
enough.
the only person I'm getting rid of, and
But
I
it's
plan on being
not.
better next year. That I mean that like again like it's be nice, and he's saying all these nice things, but if you're saying if you come out next year and say we're going to be a better team this year, what did you do? Well, we got a new quarterback. Like that's
Okay,
what like
but see, here's the thing. Would this be a discussion if it was any other position? Like, are we having any kind of, are we having any kind of debate on whether or not, fuck, what the hell's his name? Darnell Mooney is Rome Odunze or Malik Neighbors or Marvin Harrison Jr. Is there any debate here that they're going to come into the league and Darnell Mooney is better than them because he had 1,000-yard season and he's shown flashes of being a great wide receiver, or I'm sorry, not a great, but a good wide receiver? Like what? Where
well,
did the
when it comes to
comparison
wide
stop?
receiver, I don't know if it's a well, wide receiver is just a much easier transition too. So it's not like the quarterback is just one where it's the hardest transition. You could have been the Heisman winner and sucked. completely suck. Very rarely are you the best wide receiver in the nation and you just completely suck in the NFL.
Um,
Who? David Terrell? Because again, he went to the Bears with no quarterback. Like, yeah,
David Terrell, Mike Williams, the Charles Rogers, Kevin White. Kevin White was the best
Kevin
wide
White
receiver in
wasn't a.
football that year.
I don't think he was the best wide receiver in college football. I think
In
he was.
college football,
I think he was a combine warrior. I'm pretty
top
sure
two
he
or
was.
top three in that season. He had an amazing
I'd
season.
have to look
But
that up.
again, Charles Rogers, Mike Williams, there's a lot of them that were top college wide receivers that
Yeah,
just
but
did not
they
pan out
weren't.
in the
Yeah, they
NFL.
didn't. Yeah, they didn't turn into the best, but they were as good as Mooney. Is what I'm saying. Like
No, no.
some of them. I'm not saying all of them.
But what I'm
Um,
saying is that it's not so highly debated. And yeah, maybe the transition's a little bit easier, but we're still talking about just upgrading the
and Mooney,
position.
yeah, and Mooney didn't show like Mooney had a nice year in a garbage time year. He didn't show flashes of like
A
he
lot of
almost
people
break Mike Vick's record.
a lot of people have blinders on, and I get it. I understand. I'm not I
I
I
don't. I
don't
mean,
think just
I won't know blind is the word. Yes, I would to Justin. What I'm saying is like I don't think Mooney's a good comparison. Justin like almost broke Mike Vick's record. He done other amazing things. He's made
but see,
crazy, amazing in-game plays like that. Mooney was just out there catching
I,
normal routes and being a
I get it.
solid
But
receiver.
but we're talking about breaking Michael Vick's record, right?
Yeah.
Big fucking deal.
Well, we're talking
He's a
about throwing for
quarterback, not like rushing
so
yards
what
to
is
me
throwing for 4,000
doesn't
yards
mean
do?
shit.
Okay, but what I'm saying is like most of the passing records don't. Mitch Trubisky threw 4 touchdown passes. Like Patrick Mahomes doesn't have all the passing records. Like,
Not yet.
yeah, well, I mean, I'm talking, yeah, overall wise, but not like in a season. And he's
But
played for a lot already. Well, super teams, and
I get that.
he ain't breaking no
But
records. Like,
breaking a rushing record for a quarterback doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything.
I mean, it doesn't
Michael Vick didn't do anything in his career either.
breaking no
Michael
records.
Vick was a mediocre, and this may be a hot take. Michael Vick was mediocre. He was not great. He was
I
not
think
bad.
I think
Michael
he
Vick
was.
at his best season was mediocre.
That's not true. His best season, he was an MVP, almost an MVP candidate with Andy
Almost,
Reid. Yeah, that's
almost,
not mediocre though.
almost. It's mediocre because he only did it what 1 year.
But what I'm saying, yeah, because it
He
was
had one good year. He
well,
flashed
I don't know if it
once.
was. Well, I don't think it was more than one good year. But what I'm saying is like his best year with Andy Reid. That's when he was on a good team with good coaching, good players. Like,
And how many yards? But did they win?
they probably lost in the playoffs. Like I don't know what Andy Reid teams do.
What did he do exactly?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't exactly remember. But that doesn't mean you're like fucking. Is Justin Herbert bad then?
No,
He's never won.
Justin
But he threw for
Herbert.
4,000 yards. That's what I'm saying. You're saying throwing for 4,000 yards is impressive,
No,
but
that's not what I'm
what
saying.
Mike Vick did isn't.
That's
Mike
not
Vick's
what I'm
got a better
saying.
winning percentage than Justin Herbert does.
That's not what I'm saying.
So
What
what
I'm
does it
saying,
matter?
what
So
I'm
is
saying
Justin
is
Herbert
breaking a
mediocre then?
rushing record for a quarterback doesn't mean anything.
But breaking a passing record would?
I didn't say that either.
So records then just don't matter then.
No, I'm saying rushing records for a quarterback don't matter.
Well, I'm not saying it matters. What I'm saying is like that's what you
You're a
saw.
quarterback.
That's what I'm saying is like that's where you see the flashes. Like Mooney hasn't shown that he could do anything. He can't break
But
any record. Like
but there's a
If Mooney would have broke Devin Hester, almost broke Devin Hester's record, what you're saying would be what
if
would make.
those if those are the flashes you're talking about in terms of um those were the flashes come from or is from his running ability. In order to win in this game, you have to win from the pocket.
I don't know.
There's not enough flashes there in the pocket for Justin Fields. The running, you said
I
it
mean,
just
that's
like
what you
wide
say,
receivers.
but like,
Hold on. You said it just like wide receivers. Okay, Justin Fields almost broke Michael Vick's record that 1 year. What did he do this year? Didn't have nearly as many rushing yards. He tried. He tried to get outside and scramble. What happened? Defenses adjusted.
yeah,
We talked about this all
yeah,
year.
yeah.
We
I'm not
talked
saying,
so take away his rushing. He
but
had
I
one good
don't.
year
They
rushing.
adjusted,
Hold
but
on.
he was on pace for 900 yards. He was only like three. He was only 200 short from that year. So it's not like they completely stopped him. The kid had
No,
like 600 or 700 yards. He was going to get like 900. So again, they adjusted, but he would. if he played all 40 games, even with the 180 yards a game he was throwing for, if he would have played all the games, he would have thrown for 3,600 pass yards and 850 rush yards on
Do you
average.
know? So why did he run so much? Why did he still have so many rushing yards? Because he wouldn't throw the fucking football.
We also run quarterback design runs. Our O line. I could
Not
literally
all 800 of those
no. I'm not saying that, but
quarterback
I could
design
also
runs.
literally probably pull up just as many of him holding the ball too long, him not having any time and having to fucking instantly break a tackle and take off and run.
Don't get me wrong, he's made incredibly athletic plays. I'm not taking that away from him. He has made there the throw where he broke like 3 tackles or whatever, threw it across his body. Who else is going to make that
That's what
throw?
I'm saying. Those are the flashes. I'm not saying just. I was just saying like the record is a part of it. He almost broke Mike Vick's record, and if you think right, we think he's not that very good of a passer. He's still a better passer than Mike Vick was. So fucking, that's where you see the flashes. And I don't like this whole thing. We're like, oh, it doesn't matter. Like quarterbacks run. Yeah, you got to win from the pocket. Fucking Jalen Hurts was one fumble away from fucking winning the Super Bowl last year. So yeah, it's the best of the best one from the pocket, Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. But there's another way to fucking skin a cat. Like, and I'm not saying you gotta fucking run for 200 yards to your quarterback, but this this notion that's like there's a plenty of 4,000-yard pocket passers who fucking have a worse or have a bad record, just like Justin, who had a worse season.
Absolutely.
So, like,
But
what
there's
does that mean?
absolutely zero quarterbacks that have 1,000 yards rushing that are Super Bowl winners. There are zero.
Yeah, but again,
There are
those
none.
yes, but they've lived in like right now. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts are trying to beat fucking. And I'm not saying they got to get 1,000. What I'm saying is like Jalen Hurts had fucking create like 200 rushes or some shit, like a
Well,
lot.
because it's because he had 200 quarterback sneaks.
But either way, that's running the ball. That's not winning it in the pocket. That's what I'm saying. Like that's and it's not again where you were saying it wasn't all. They're not all quarterback sneaks. What are they? They were like 28 for 30 or some shit. There was like a count on how many they. So it was you know what I mean? He rushed 180 times. Only fucking maybe 40 of them were QB sneaks. They run all the time. There's more of than this. Yes, Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady went from the pocket, but you don't think Josh Allen's capable of winning a Super Bowl? No, he just can't beat Patrick Mahomes. But he's a fucking
Josh
800 good.
Allen is also capable of throwing the football
Yeah, and fumbling it and throwing a bunch of interceptions too.
just as well as any of those other guys are. And I'm not saying
I
he's
don't
not
know if it's
turnover prone,
I don't think he throws it
but
just as
Josh
well.
Allen is 100 times better of a passer than Justin Fields
I don't
is.
think so.
It's not even a debate.
I don't know about
If
100
you can
times.
sit there and tell me right now,
That I don't think he's 100 times better. Then yes, I think
yeah,
I do. No,
that's almost clinically insane.
no, that does a lot of bonehead stuff too, and like he's been empowered to they literally get 5 wide and let him do whatever the fuck he wants for
You're
like it.
saying that Josh Allen is not leaps and bounds better of a throw over football than Justin Fields is. You're really gonna sit there and
I
say
think
that
he's a better passer than Justin Fields. I don't leaps and bounds. I don't
by
know.
leaps
That's
and
a
bounds.
no. I don't think so. I think he's on a better team.
Oh
They dumb
man.
it down for him. He does. I like I said, we've watched when we were talking about Justin Fields. Watch the end of all his games. It's him throwing an interception for them to lose or him fumbling. I think Josh Allen is great, but I think his story of his career is literally the exact same trajectory as Justin Fields is.
It's not.
He was on a losing team with a bunch of bums, and everyone was calling him a running back until his team was good, and then he was a star. That's how it went. But his team got better faster than the Bears did.
It's not the same trajectory. Same thing with
What I'm
Jalen
saying,
Hurts.
like,
It's
I
not
want
the
not
same
trajectory,
trajectory.
same process. Like, yeah, their teams are better. That's why Jalen Hurts is surrounded by Hall of Famers. Justin Fields got DJ Moore, who's you know what I mean, like, who's a great a running wide receiver who had his best year, but he's a top
So who's
20
the
wide
Hall of
receiver.
Famer on Josh Allen's team?
Well, I didn't
Stephen
say
Diggs?
Josh.
Come on.
Well, I was talking about Jalen Hurts, but Stephen Diggs is better than DJ Moore, and
How
his
much?
coach was better.
How big is that gap?
I don't know. I'd have to see what their contracts are, and then we'll see. But I mean, I'll look at their stats. But I would say he's just better. He's a better wide receiver than him. And their other wide receivers are better. Their defense was better. And that's why they got better. But when his team sucks and he had no Stephen Diggs, he was a running back who couldn't win because he ran the ball too much.
I'm gonna do this next week just to create conversation, not just amongst us, but amongst the people who are commenting on this video as well. I am going to bring a list of all the starting quarterbacks in the NFL, the teams, everything. Okay. You and I are going to have a discussion on which one of those teams would rather have Justin Fields over their quarterback.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to do that. That's definitely in
Okay.
the works. I've been waiting for. Well, I didn't want to do it. And then just again, I don't know. I guess we'll do it anyway. Again, when looking at it like that, I don't know. It's probably 7 teams. Um, but I mean, there's a lot of quality players in the NFL. I mean, that's just what it is. So just because there's a bunch of teams that already got their quarterback, that doesn't mean just because they wouldn't replace. And some people I think are loyal to their guy. Like maybe if Justin's like the same level or maybe even a slightly better, they will stay with him. And that's how I feel. Like Justin has been mediocre and shown the flashes, but he's our guy, and that's how I feel. That's how I'm always am. That I like our guys. I was the same with Mitch. I was the same with Jay Cutler. Um, I don't know with Rex
Do you
Grossman.
want to wait? Do you want to wait until it's official whether Justin Fields gets traded or the number one overall pick gets traded before we do a mock draft? That way we have
Yes,
somewhat of
for
an
sure. Yeah,
idea
for sure. Because I don't.
with
It's
a
impossible to do the mock draft not knowing if they're going to have Caleb or Justin because it's a completely different draft if we've got Justin or if we have Caleb. Like, I mean, if we have Caleb, it's gonna like. I'm not looking like yeah, we have 1 and 9, but if we give Caleb, I think we're hamstrung. We're gonna have to take Caleb and then the best receiving target that's left at 9 or left tackle, I guess. But I don't think you can go left tackle if you're taking Caleb Williams because we don't have the equity to waste. And it's like I don't know. That's honestly my like one of my other huge concerns. I just think like we need more pieces, and I guess we'll wait and see how free agency goes. But let's say Caleb Williams is better than Justin. He throws for 3,600 yards, 28 touchdowns and fucking 9 interceptions. If we don't get like considerably better, that's not going to get us anything more than 7 or 8 wins.
we absolutely need a center,
Center,
a wide receiver two,
yeah,
a tight end two, another edge rusher, probably another interior defensive lineman, and a safety.
yeah, and it's not as like if we're keeping the pick, we just lost all our trade left. We're not. I mean, I guess unless you trade back from 9, we have no second, so it's 1 and 9 is going to be like I said.
You'll
Roma
get
didn't.
a second round pick for Justin Fields. I almost
I don't.
guarantee
I
you're
don't.
going to get
I
some.
mean, I think he's worth that. I just like I said last week. Teams are gonna be like, fuck that. Why the fuck would I give you anything? You want to get if you drafting Caleb, you want to get rid of him. I'll give you a second round pick next year. I don't think, as of right now, the Bears are getting a second round pick in this upcoming draft. It's not happening
I think they will.
because if you want a quarterback, you might be thinking, well, I'll just sit in the second round and wait. Maybe Bo Nix will fall to me. Why am I giving up my second now? If you're Atlanta, their picks pretty high. You said maybe I can trade up and get JJ McCarthy if he falls. Like, again, I think Justin is better than a lot of those guys. But what I'm saying is like they're gonna be like the Bears have ran out of leverage. If I think they no longer have Justin leverage, so you're not getting anything good. I think at this point you'll be lucky to get like a third and a fourth in this upcoming draft. We'll be lucky to get that. If, like I said, if that, I just don't think a lot. Everybody's going to give up a lot this year. Maybe we'll get a second next year. I'm pretty sure that's what the Sam Darnold deal was. It was like a fourth this year and a second the following year or some shit. Um, that would be the metric. I think Justin Fields has been a lot better than Sam Darnold. I don't know, maybe not. I don't watch a lot of the Jets. Nobody does. Um, but we will see. But I think we're past the point where we're getting anything credible this year for Justin. So I don't think we'll have a second round pick unless we fall back from 9. I don't think we're going to fall back from 9 because I think there's going to be a wide receiver there or a tackle there that we can't pass on.
They have to take if I will say this. If all three wide receivers are gone, I think they trade down from 9 because they don't need a tackle, but there's a team that will probably overpay to come up to get a tackle. I think that, like I said, if all three of those wide receivers are gone by 9, which has never happened,
I don't think
uh,
so. I don't think it. I think it's right now. I'm thinking it's Caleb, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, um, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Harrison
That's
Jr.
4.
5 is the New York
Neighbors.
Giants.
Well, I'm not. 5 is the Giants. I think will be a quarterback.
It
Who
could be maybe, but
maybe?
I have seen a lot of mock drafts. Either they have Malik Neighbors going 5 or Roma Dunze going 5.
Yeah. So and then who's 6? We're 9. I don't think 3 wide receivers are going. But I think one of the tackles will go in between there. Um, and I really think JJ McCarthy's probably going before 9. I really do. I think somebody's going to move up and get JJ McCarthy at 9. So I think one of the wide receivers will be there. So I think they'll be hamstrung, and then it's like hopefully we end up with Bosa
Oh,
or
sorry.
Khalil Mack.
5 is the Chargers.
Yeah. So the Chargers, I'm good. I don't know what the Chargers. They're probably going to fall back. I guess they could take a wide receiver. They're a wild card. They might take a tight end, maybe Brock Bowers. I think it's a little high for Brock Bowers though. If they want Brock Bowers.
6 is the Giants, 7's the Titans, and then 8's the Falcons.
Yeah, I don't think any of those guys are taking a wide receiver. Maybe the Giants.
Maybe the
So we'll
Titans.
see. I just think we'll be just hamstrung, and I don't think my. And again, I don't to take it out of the Justin debate. I just if you were telling me next year all the Bears got for Justin was rookie wide receiver, I'd be like, we're in trouble. So that's how I feel about Caleb. If we're only going to get a rookie wide receiver, and at this point, at best, Khalil Mack at D end, Brian Burns is getting tagged. Um, so it's like best case scenario, we end up with Khalil Mack at D end. Are there any other good D ends? I mean, Bosa, but
Danielle Hunter.
didn't. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting about again. He's pretty good too. So I mean, that'd be nice add to get, but again, I don't think adding a rookie wide receiver and Danielle Hunter is means we're going to the playoffs.
No,
And
but a rookie wide receiver, probably a veteran wide receiver, a pretty decent tight end too, catch passing tight end too. You definitely need to get one of the top 2 centers in free agency. It's not even a debate. Like it's something if you don't come out of free
yeah,
agency with a
but
center,
linemen are weird too because you like Sam Mustipher sucked on our team and then he was good on the fucking Ravens. So I don't know if we need a new coaching thing. So it's weird. It's like we could get whoever at center. We never know he's going to be good. Um, or if he just doesn't fit in with our guys. We've been revolving veteran linemen for fucking 5 years now. Not one of them's ever been good. You know what I mean? We thought Nate Davis was going to be good. I did. I thought he was solid, and he
he
didn't
was
play. And then when he got in, he was okay, I guess.
yeah, he was okay.
I like Jackson Powers. I think I would be really excited if we got him. I think he is a center that I think would fit in anywhere, and I think he's a spark plug. Besides that, like Connor Williams, isn't he coming off an ACL injury? Like
Yeah.
he's going to step in and like, does he even make it through the whole season? Like again, like that's what I'm saying, and we'll close it out there. That I like you said, you want to come off as a Justin hater. I know you're not. I know like a lot of our best reels are, you know what I mean, you criticizing Justin, and you know what I mean, it's fair to criticize him. He hasn't been perfect, and I've criticized him as well. And I don't not like Caleb on some kind of personal level, but that I think he's a little bit of a diva, California kid. We're Midwest boys, so you know what I mean. We don't like the sunshines, but I don't have anything personal against him. I just personally don't think he's a generational talent. And so we'll see. But if he ends up on the Bears, I'll root for him. I'm going to be rooting for the Bears, so uh, I'll have to root for him. But if they don't do more, he's going to suffer the same fate as Justin, and then our coach is going to get fired. The year after that, Foles is going to end up getting fired, and it's going to be this just vicious cycle. And I think sooner or later we have to break it. And I thought we were. Um, he had a chance if he was gonna, you know what I mean. If he wanted a new quarterback, he should have just fucking fired Eberflus. I think that would have changed a lot of this because, like I said, as somebody who's a fan of Justin, it feels like they're now all about the pin this on Justin. it seems like the cop out is like we would have been better if it was Justin, and nobody was a problem except for Justin and Getsy. And I wasn't a fan of Getsy, but it's like I don't like you making Justin the fall guy when I watched every game, and there are things Justin did that had me scratching my head, but way more than Eberflus did.
There's always a scapegoat.
Yeah, and it's like I don't like that where we're holding certain people accountable to doing their jobs or being replaced for something better, and others not. And that's again like that to me is like why are you showing this guy loyalty and not that guy loyalty? So, you know what I mean? It's one thing if he's an exec, but head coach and quarterback are, you know what I mean? They're in a similar level of like, when we lose, it's your fault.
Yeah,
And he basically said it wasn't Eberflus's fault. But all right, that was a long one. It's late. You woke up. I don't know what you're doing, but
it was family game night.
oh, okay. All right. All right, we will talk again. Maybe we'll break down some of the combine. It was pretty good. We got into it with Justin, so we didn't get the breakdown numbers, but the 40-yard dash record got broken. Um, and some other combine warriors, the Michigan players showed out. You see, I got my shirt on for my boys. But all right, like, follow, subscribe, please. And yeah, keep up the comment, and we'll see you guys next week. Adios,
See you
buddy. I'll
next
talk
week.
to you later.